Through the chaotic streets of Rome, a thief named Enzo sprints through alleyways, chased by police after stealing a wristwatch. He dives into a protest to lose them, but they corner him on a bridge, forcing him to hide inside a crane dangling over the Tiber River. In a desperate attempt to escape, he falls into the polluted water and lands in decaying barrels, accidentally breaking one open and exposing himself to radioactive waste. Sick and coughing up black sludge, Enzo drags himself home to his rundown apartment, where he shivers through the night in agony, trembling and vomiting until dawn. The next morning, he wakes up feeling oddly better, his body restored, and his saliva clear. Trying to move on, Enzo sells the stolen watch to a local fixer named Sergio, but gets roped into a dangerous job involving two drug mule brothers carrying illegal substances in their bodies. Sergio introduces him to his mentally fragile daughter Allesia, who lives in a fantasy world where she believes a giant robot hero named Steel Jig will one day come save her. Her walls are plastered with anime drawings and childlike hope. The job goes wrong fast. One of the mules dies from an overdose when a drug capsule ruptures inside him, and in the chaos, the surviving brother shoots Sergio and wounds Enzo, sending him crashing down from a 10-story building. But Enzo stands up, bruised but unscathed, realizing something has changed. He's become stronger. While Rome's underworld leader Fabio scrambles to cover the botched deal with a terrifying trafficker named Nunia, Enzo discovers his new strength by accidentally punching through his door, tearing a radiator off the wall, and yanking an ATM from its casing. Using the stolen money, he fills his fridge for the first time and even splurges on porn and entertainment. When Fabio's crew arrives to interrogate Allesia about her father's disappearance, Enzo first tries to walk away. But when he hears Allesia scream, he bursts through the window mast, destroying the thugs with ease. Allesia believes her anime hero has come to life, and Enzo, grudgingly, lets her tag along. Despite his insistence that he doesn't care about anyone, Enzo stitches his own toe back on and keeps Allesia safe. She starts calling him Jig, believing destiny has sent him to save the city. At first, Enzo only pretends to care, even leaving her at a care home for safety. But as footage of his ATM robbery spreads online and rumors of a masked vigilante swirl through Rome, Enzo starts watching Steel Jig himself. Meanwhile, Fabio, threatened by Nunia and rejected by his second-in-command Antonio, attempts to rob an armored truck, only to be beaten to it by Enzo, who uses his powers to hijack the vehicle and escape with the cash. Furious and humiliated, Fabio spirals further, but Enzo's fame grows as Allesia continues to believe in his heroism. When Enzo takes her on a day out to a rundown amusement park and buys her a princess dress at the mall, the line between play and reality begins to blur. However, in a moment of weakness, Enzo tries to force himself on Allesia, an act that devastates her and leads to a breakdown. She lashes out, accuses him of not caring, and runs away after he admits that Sergio is dead. Enzo, realizing what he's done, stops her tram using his bare hands and apologizes in front of a stunned crowd. She forgives him, but warns him to wear a mask. His identity is no longer a secret. Suddenly, an explosion shakes the city. They flee into chaos and later identify Sergio's body at the morgue. Elsewhere, Fabio meets with an old flame to secure a loan, but gets ambushed by Nunia. After a brutal and humiliating beating, he's nearly set on fire before a gunfight erupts between his contact and Nunia's men. In the bloodbath, Fabio shoots his way to freedom and returns to find his entire crew murdered. Watching footage of Enzo stopping the tram and stealing the spotlight again, Fabio snaps. Meanwhile, Enzo and Allesia flee to a new city, trying to start over. Enzo shares painful memories of growing up in the slums and losing friends to violence. But their peace is shattered when Fabio ambushes them with a tranquilizer gun. Enzo wakes up taped to a chair while Allesia is locked in a van. Fabio wants his powers and demands the truth. Enzo leads him back to the crane above the river where it all started, hoping to distract him. Fabio hesitates to jump in, suspecting a trick. Back in the van, Allesia uses a hidden knitting needle to stab her captor and escape. But just as she reunites with Enzo, Nunia's gang arrives and another shootout begins. Allesia is shot in the crossfire, dying in Enzo's arms. Fabio tries to flee, but Nunia sets him on fire with a flamethrower, and his flaming body plunges into the river. In her final breath, Allesia asks Enzo to become the hero Jeeg for real and save the city. The next morning, Fabio emerges from the toxic river, horribly disfigured but very much alive, and now superpowered. He smashes his car, trying to swat a fly, and realizes he has gained the same strength as Enzo. He marches into Nunia's headquarters and slaughters her entire gang, crushing her spine in a horrific bear hug. After dancing with her corpse, he finds a hidden armory and uncovers evidence tying Nunia to the recent city bombings. Meanwhile, Enzo is spiraling, grieving and aimless. He wanders Rome until he stumbles upon a car crash where a child is trapped. Tearing the door off with raw power, Enzo rescues the boy, and the grateful mother's hug triggers a memory of Allesia, reigniting his purpose. Then, on a street vendor's TV, he watches Fabio's gory murder spree go viral. Fabio declares on camera that something worse is coming. Realizing only he can stop it, Enzo borrows a bike and introduces himself as Jeeg. At a packed stadium, Fabio sneaks in dressed as a homeless man and sets up a massive bomb. Enzo arrives, smashes through a security gate, and confronts him. The two engage in a brutal superhuman brawl, throwing toilets, smashing walls, and pulverizing everything in sight. Fabio, realizing he's losing, tries to blend into the crowd. Enzo tracks him down, and the fight spills into the stands. Fabio drops the detonator, then regains the upper hand and jumps away. In a final act of desperation, he triggers the bomb with 5 minutes left and disappears again. Enzo finds the ambulance rigged with explosives and drives it toward the bridge. The police block his way, unaware of the bomb, so Enzo crashes through their cars and sprints through the crowd, carrying the device himself. Fabio appears and attacks, smashing Enzo's head into the pavement, then runs to the bomb and sets the timer to 15 seconds. But Enzo recovers just in time and tackles him into the river as the bomb detonates underwater. The blast kills Fabio. His severed head lands on the bridge, but spares the city. In the aftermath, the public debates whether Enzo was a savior or just a lucky criminal. Unseen, he survives and disappears. But at night, with Alesia's hand-knitted mask pulled over his face, Enzo returns to the streets. Not for money, not for fame, but to become the hero she believed he could be. The legend of Steel Jeeg lives on, not in anime, but in the alleys of Rome, where a broken man finally found purpose in saving others. So if you find this piece of content worth your while, please do well to hit the like button and subscribe for future uploads. See you in the next one.